No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today, I'm very, very happy to bring the world an important interview that has been long overdue. Podcast is oftentimes sort of credited as being like a SoundCloud rap podcast, or at least we came from that. You basically, Ronny J, were like the pioneer of that kind of sound, even before X and Pump and the whole era that people kind of call SoundCloud rap. You were sort of there from the very beginning of that.
Yeah, definitely. I was always there since like day one. I definitely think that, you know, I was a part of like the whole like explosion of like SoundCloud, like, you know, like it's like what do you call it? It's like prime, you know what I'm saying? Like I was definitely a part of like the prime of SoundCloud, and I don't think it's anywhere where it used to be anymore.
So I agree with that. We can get into that, but I'm interested in the early days because it's like when you think about you and Denzel, was that like the first person in Florida that you actually did stuff with who had any kind of name? Because Threats, for those who don't know, I mean, you do know, because if you heard it, you would recognize it, even if you don't know the actual name of the song. But Threats was like, in my mind, that sort of like ushered in what SoundCloud rap was to be after Space Ghost Perp.
Yeah, Denzel Curry was definitely like the first person that I like linked up with out of South Florida that something actually came out of, you know what I'm saying? And Threats was like the first song that, you know, we had that like just went viral. So
Right.
like, that was a song that like just took everything off. So yeah.
Right. Well, so how deep into the music side of things were you when you went to at that time? Because a lot of people would be like, "Oh, Jersey, it's right next to New York. There's probably a lot of opportunities there." But were they like opportunities that you weren't necessarily feeling?
I mean, bro, like when I first graduated high school, like I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I wasn't even like I wasn't even producing yet, you know? I just wanted to get out of Jersey. So I was like going to school for like criminal justice at that point. And then one of my friends from back home, he was making beats and he was just like blowing up with it. So he's the one that like inspired me, you know, to like even want to do it. Like I always been playing drums my whole life, but he's the one that inspired me, Good Work Charlie, to like, you know, for me to be producing.
And did you say that at first you thought that making beats was kind of like this nerdy thing where you just be sitting on the computer and shit, and then you kind of like unlearn that mentality?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's how I used to like, that's how I used to see it, you know? Like, I didn't think it was like, oh, like that's lame, but like I just didn't really see me doing that, you know, just being on the computer, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of funny how things turned out.
Well, I think it's funny too, because I think that if you're going to make something out of yourself in life, that you have to really get into that mentality of like working your ass off and being willing to kind of like be a nerd for however many years it takes. Like, and that's not true for anything as much as it is producing, really, because it's like, if you want to get to be a good producer, you realistically are going to have to spend at least like a couple years just posted up learning.
Yeah, like you got to lock in, and like that's what I totally did, you know what I'm saying? Like at one point, I felt like I didn't even have a life. Like I hated my life, you know, because I was just like so dedicated to this, you know, and just like I just wanted to make it so bad, you know? So like, yeah, just countless hours.
That's sacrifice. Yeah. So you go down to Florida, and then you're not really feeling the school thing, but are you starting to like go to shows, or like what's your opinion on hip hop out there?
So like honestly, like before I went to South Florida, like I never really attended shows like that, you know, it just wasn't a thing. Like my group of friends, like in Jersey, like we would go to clubs and parties, but like never like really rap shows.
Right.
Know? So yeah, like once I got down there and I linked up with Denzel, you know, I got, you know, introduced to the whole underground scene, and like, you know, that was like when A$AP Rocky first came out, the whole A$AP Mob thing, you know, Raider Clan. So that was all new to me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole, like, it just felt like an underground world that like the mainstream just wasn't really aware of yet.
Yeah, and it was like, it was weird because it was like all of a sudden that Florida, that SoundCloud era, all of a sudden made it like underground rap felt really, really cool in that moment. Like it just felt different. I remember going to see like Wi-Fi and Pump and like Young Simi, like maybe 6 months before Pump started blowing up. And it was like the energy in that room, and just a random ass, I think it was in West Palm Beach or something. Yeah. The energy was insane. And it just felt like, holy shit, this is really important. Like there's so much interesting shit going on out here.
Yeah, nah, I feel the same way. Like it was definitely like something fresh and new, you know, like it felt like we had the power, you know what I'm saying? Like we had the power of just like, gaining attention from the masses. Like that's what it felt like, you know?
Right, definitely. So when you were looking at, so how did you meet Denzel?
So I met Denzel Curry through a mutual friend from one of the colleges that I attended.
Okay.
And
Denzel's like basically unknown at this point, but did you hear his stuff and you were like...
Nah, I mean, I totally had no idea, but like he for sure was known, just like on the
The
internet.
Raider
though.
Clan shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like
okay.
literally like Raider Clan and just like YouTube and like a little SoundCloud stuff.
Not like the way we know him now, but he definitely
Yeah.
had a Florida buzz for
He
sure.
definitely
Yeah.
had like, he definitely had some buzz to where it's like, all right, like I want to work with him. Like I see, you know, he has a big future.
Right.
So like that was that. But yeah, so I met him through like one of the homies, and he was like, yo, I know about this kid named Denzel Curry from like the hood out here in Miami, and we just like linked. And I think Simi had like a video shoot, and then my homie like drove me over there, and Denzel was there, and that was the first time we linked up.
And so, did you guys hit it off on like a personal level, or was it more just like a musical thing where he needed a good producer at that time, and you were hungry for a rapper who could do justice to the beats you were making?
Yeah, I think it was more like about like the music. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really like super personal just yet, but it became personal because it was like an everyday. It was like a lifestyle thing. You know, like once we dropped Threats and we realized like, all right, bet like this could be like a career for us. Then it became like like a part of our everyday routine.
Really? So you guys were recording a shitload back then.
Yeah, we always been like working.
Did it spiral into like you working with a ton of other artists from that scene? Like, how did you eventually end up working with guys like X and Ski and shit?
Yeah, so like I mean, I never really planned on just being like for one artist. Just like how like an artist has like their one producer, and vice versa. So I never really planned for it to be like that, but. From me working with Denzel and making great stuff, that made everyone else want to work with me too, that he was around from South Florida. So, yeah, it just kind of like trickled down to everybody else, They just like heard, like, oh, Ronny, whatever, distortion, all that. So
Right.
Yeah.
So when you say distortion, it's interesting because it's like a lot of people, when they think about like distorted rap music, they think about X.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily like go back and trace it to like SGP or Denzel or all these different sounds that were kind of coming out at that time. Was there any kind of like conscious conversation between you and Denzel about what he wanted aesthetically, that he wanted something grimier that had that sort of distorted vibe to it?
I think, bro, when I first went down there and I realized, I learned about Raider Clan and stuff like that. I think like my sound and like their sound, it's just like fused together, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I for sure paid attention. I realized like, okay, like their sound is more like dirty, like underground. It's not super clean. And then when I first started making beats, I was just making them, just like not even trying to overthink it. And it just came out like that, Cause like I never knew how to mix. So, everyone thought I was doing things on purpose, but really like I didn't know what I was doing like that,
See, that's interesting because a lot of like the rappers who came out and people were sort of, crediting them with doing all this distorted beats and shit like that. There was like certain pump songs where the bass just sounded so crazy.
Yeah.
But it seems like almost everybody sort of like cleaned up their style over time. And then, and you have seen stuff like you've seen, like, am I right that Kanye kind of like took the distorted bass thing and ran with it to a certain extent too?
I mean, like when though? Like recently or?
Past couple of years, yeah.
Past couple of years?
But not in the exact same way, but I feel like he sort of, and a few other like people, they kind of like adapted some of that feel without maybe necessarily making it so abrasive.
Got you. As far as Ye, like I'm not really sure. Like I know Ye and like I've been around him like personally. So like I just know like he's so like in his own world, Like he's definitely like aware, as you can see he worked with Pump, Melly. So like he's aware, but he's so like in his own world as well. So like I know for a fact he was for sure inspired by X, like the stuff that we did and stuff like that. But I'm not really too sure about the distortion part with him. I don't know.
So you go from working with Denzel, how do you end up meeting X and Ski and that whole shit? Because I'm sure that there's stories associated with that time period.
It was crazy, bro. So me and Denzel, we were working. At that point, I moved in with him inside the ULT house. That's what we like to call it, the ULT house, like a unity type of thing. It felt like a clubhouse, like a frat house. So, time passed by, and then we had this house party, and X and Ski. Someone told X and Ski that they can perform at our house party. So they just like pulled up, and they thought they were gonna, just like go crazy. And Denzel was just like, nah, like y'all can't perform here, but y'all could come in. So then that was like the first time we met them, and it was cool. Like it was a house party vibe, whatever. I don't really like remember like really interacting with them like that night, because I was hella lit. But yeah, bro. Then after that, I remember like they came back like the next day or a few days later, and they were just like talking with Denzel, and like Denzel was just like trying to like give them game. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time Denzel was like bigger than them.
And they were so raw. Like, did that stand out? Like, holy shit, these dudes are crazy.
It was crazy, bro. Like, it was kind of like they came to a party. You know what I'm saying? And then like, I don't know, like Denzel just kept playing their music, and like like when Denzel loves somebody, he just like he'll let you know. So he just kept playing their music, and I'm right there. So I'm like, yeah, like I fuck with it. tell them slide, you know. So then once they came, the second time that they came, that was the first time me and X made a song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which song was that?
It's called In the Dirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was one of the early ones on his SoundCloud?
Nah. So I think I dropped it on my SoundCloud.
Oh, okay.
So it's Yoshi Tompkins featuring X, produced by me.
Okay. And so what was your wait, before you met him, did you know him as being a dude who was fucking people up in these videos that were going viral on Twitter and shit?
I knew like, yeah, like everything happened so fast kind of, but like I knew that like, yeah, like this, like he's a little crazy reckless kid.
Yeah, because I always think about that, how it's so crazy that he's considered to be, you know, like one of the most influential rappers of the generation. But I literally knew about him for like a couple months from just being like that little fucking dude who's fucking people up on Twitter and just, you know, there's like when you watch those videos, it's like you see Rob Banks like in the video and shit. So it's so obvious that this is going down like at Florida rap shows, and that like it was just so fascinating to me. I always kind of like discount that when I talk about like when I met him and stuff, that I had kind of known about him for a little while, even though I didn't know his name.
Yeah, nah, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, before like the party, I didn't really know too much about them. I was honestly surprised. I was like, damn, like I didn't know like there was like other kids like right around our way, just like doing their thing too. You know, I thought it was like just us. And that really just like, you know, made me realize like how much influence we had down there too, you know, because like they were inspired by everything that we did as well. So. Right.
What was it like working with X? Did he stand out to you in terms of just his fucking manic, intense personality? Did it like make any particular impression on you when you were working together, or did he just jump on whatever beat you played for him?
So yeah, like working with him is definitely one of a kind. It was, you know, my all-time favorite. I can't compare it to anyone else. The energy for sure is, you know, uncomparable, you know what I'm saying? He for sure has influence, you know, on my life, my music. And really he was just like, you know, just always like one of the realest with me, you know, because like I make music as well. And like he just always like supported that, you know, not just like, oh, Ronny beats. Like it wasn't like that.
Right.
You know, he was really like on a more like personal level. It wasn't just like music.
He wanted to make music together, not just hop on a beat.
Sometimes he would though. Like he was so diverse, bro. You know, he went from heavy distortion to like just all type of stuff, you know, like pop stuff, like, you know, radio hits.
Right. And
So-
I remember being surprised when like his albums came out and they had so much soft music on it. But really it's like, even when I did that interview, he asked me straight up, he's like, you heard my rock stuff, right? You heard my acoustic shit. He from day one, he was like trying to go outside that rapper category.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Like, yeah, I believe that. He always had like diverse stuff, you know. It's just like the heavy distorted stuff was just like, you know, kids want to rage. Like that's just what was like more popular in the beginning. So
Definitely. What about Ski though? Did he make an impression on you? Because I feel like Ski sometimes gets under discussed because like Ski, really what he's accomplished is incredible and his music's amazing. And it's like, he's made such a big imprint. It's like he was benefited from being X's friend, but at the same time, it's kind of weird to be sort of like in the shadow of that in a way.
yeah, no, I feel that. I think they're both like equally talented, like in their own ways. You know, they both bring great things to the table, and I think it was like a really like beautiful thing, bro. Like just seeing them like together, you know, because like not everyone like seen that or like was around that, you know. I know at one point, you know, people seen that they kind of had like whatever issues, but like I know deep down inside they really do love each other. They always have, and like they're brothers. Like that's how I met them, you know, like together.
Yeah, I think in a situation like that, it's important. It's almost like a reminder is that, you know, don't have petty beefs with your friends.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And, you know, you should always forgive everyone, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't got to be cool with them, you know, always forgive them. And just make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them because, like, anything is possible.
Facts. So do you remember when their music started really blowing up, as particular songs that you had produced for them? Because it must have been like the song, like those must have been some of your biggest songs at that time blowing up, right? What was that whole process like?
I mean, so like one of the biggest ones is Sipping Tea.
Right.
And yeah, that was like insane. Like I remember that day, it was like a summer day. And I was just in my room, just like cooking up, you know, just like making a beat. And the bass was so crazy, bro. Like I knew that it was something, you know? Because I remember just being in my room and being so excited about it. And then he just like got home, because at that point he was like living with me or whatever, living like with me, Denzel. And he just like walked in my room and was like, yo, Ronny, I think I got something for this. And that was at the time when he was like beefing with Perp, Space Coast Perp. So then
inspired a lot of angry ass music, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, bro, like back around that time, like he was doing all that on purpose. You know, like he knew that, okay, like if I talk shit about this dude is gonna go viral on the internet.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Because people love that type of energy. So
But
like,
that's very early, and he was very young to know that it would have that kind of effect. You know?
like bro, like he just always knew what he was doing. Like everything, he always knew, bro.
Damn, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, and so, but like in particular, like a lot of his weird lyrics kind of stand out. Like sipping tea. You ever actually see him drink tea? It's kind of hard to imagine.
Nah, but I think he was talking about like the Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because like, bro, like
That makes sense to me.
bro, he loved going to the corner store. Like he would walk to the corner store and get like the hot popcorn and
Oh
like just
my
mad
God.
snacks and candy. Like, yeah.
That's so funny to picture him being able to do that because like the latter part of his life, he couldn't really just go to the corner store. Like it was all good.
Hell nah. But it's crazy, bro. There's so much we could say about him. But that was also back when I think it was like the little meme with like the little frog sipping tea, you know?
Oh yeah.
So it was like around that time, and I think he was on a vibe like, nigga, like I'm on your block chilling and I'm sipping tea. What up?
Right.
Like, you know. So
You don't know who the white bitch you got to throw a fuck at Starbucks was, right?
but that shit probably real though.
Probably was, right?
yeah.
I think that was like the first lyric I ever heard from that I was like, what the fuck? That's a weird ass thing to say. Who is this dude?
That shit probably real.
That's
real,
crazy.
real.
So talk about your life change in there too, because I mean, you must have gone from somebody who didn't have a lot of money to somebody who had a whole shitload of money pretty quick there, right?
It was cool. I mean, it was a long time of not having anything, especially like in Florida too, because I don't have any family there. So I was just like couch surf and like just stay wherever I can and stuff like that. But yeah, like around that time, I still didn't have money, to be honest with you. And then me and Denzel made the song Ultimate, and then that kind of went like a little bit more mainstream in a way. You know what I'm saying? And then like we did like an Adidas ad, and that was the first time I ever received like real money.
Because a lot of times you're waiting for these checks from the streaming services and everything, right? And also, did you not have your like paperwork and everything in place with a lot of the early music? Like, did you not necessarily know how to structure everything?
I mean, there was no paperwork. It was literally just, we wouldn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we would just make music, and we just knew like anything that we drop is going viral on SoundCloud. Period. Like that's all we know. So
You're just feeding out that energy.
yeah, just literally just building. You know.
That's crazy. What'd you do when you got that first check from the commercial?
So like that first check was like 10,000, and I was in LA staying at like a hotel by the airport, and I don't know, but I for sure blew that shit. Yeah, probably want some drip. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, clothes is the easy one. Jewelry. 10,000 though, you probably shouldn't buy jewelry. You should wait.
Jewelry, nah, yeah, that was like, nah. But I mean, like shortly after that, then I signed a deal with like this YouTube company, and they started collecting for me, and then I started making I was making like 40 bands a month, no cap.
That's crazy that you didn't even have your publishing shit together, but who'd you go? Create Music Group?
Yep.
And they started just claiming everything on your behalf without you even having to have the publishing arrangements in place?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
that's some
the thing
futuristic
about
shit.
It's crazy. Nah, I mean, honestly, bro, like when they first approached me, I got like an email and I didn't even like believe it. Like, I was like, man, whatever. Like, what you mean, bro? I'm gonna just be sitting home collecting a check every month for YouTube. And then the first month was like, I don't know, bro, like 6,000. And I'm like, this shit crazy. And then this shit, you know, just kept going all the way up. I probably hit like, I don't know, 60 tops, maybe, I don't know.
Wow.
In a month, bro.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's dope. So were you like, did you feel like once you start having that success, is your mentality like, I want to really lock in and try to do as much music as possible with these guys that I've been coming up with? Or were you looking at it sort of more like, damn, all right, like I did that. Now I want to figure out different people to work with?
Then like that's honestly a good question. I feel like I could have always took advantage of like, you know what, let me just lock in and like link up with Pump, Perp X, and like, yo, come on, like hop on my beats. But like I've never done that ever with any of them. You know what I'm saying? It always was like super organic with me, like everything. Otherwise, I probably have more placements or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't chase, like, you know, I like things to be super organic. So that's all I know.
How was it first meeting Pump?
Pump? Yeah, so like I remember this is like after I met X and Ski, and like I was on Twitter, just whatever, scrolling, and I seen like Pump
Shooting a gun out the window?
doing some crazy shit like that, bro. Like, yeah. Like, it was like around that time, yeah.
Right.
They were just like wilding out, bro, like in the middle of the street, hanging out the car, some wild shit. So I just hit them up, and I'm like, yo, we got to get in. You know what I'm saying? At that time, like, Perp was like really taking off, even more than Pump.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, fuck it, we got to get in. and like they were just with it, you know, because I guess like they knew, you know, Denzel Curry, X, Ronny J, whatever. So like they was with it, and then I just pulled up on them. I took my mic. I didn't have a mic stand. Just took the mic, everything I had.
Wow.
And we just made a song.
So they were recording in the booth like they're doing a show, holding
Not
the
even
mic?
in the booth, bro. They were just sitting there.
In the
just
room?
Like, yeah, just sitting in the room, holding that shit.
That's crazy.
That shit crazy.
It must have seemed wild for all that shit to be taken off on such a big level where we're used to like music blowing up because it's backed by labels and shit. And that was such a time where the shit was going up without any kind of help.
Yeah, but like even like back then, bro, like I never, like I didn't, you know, like bro, like when you're living it in the moment, you never really realize how great it is until like time passed and it's like, damn, like I did that. So like, you know, I never really realized. And like even like with X and like I knew he was big and stuff like that, but you know, like I don't know.
You knew he's big, but then like I was in the mall in Minneapolis the other day, and they got like a guy in the mall who's like all selling like sketches of Pump, or excuse me, of X and Peep and shit. And it's
crazy.
like, you know, and I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, this guy like literally just paints or draws whatever is gonna sell the best. So he's got, you know, whatever celebrities up there and stuff. And I'm like, that's so crazy that X is like what these kids are coming in asking for, that's their hero that they want so bad.
It's insane, bro. But you know, I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a great person to, you know, look up to and stuff like that.
That's an icon of our generation. It's like the way that you still will see a kid wearing like a Kurt Cobain shirt, you know, fucking Jimi Hendrix shirt, some shit like that. Like over time, it kind of even becomes less about the music, and it just becomes more about just being like this figure that changed the world, and that's what matters.
No, I agree, bro. And I think, you know, it's definitely like that now. It's going to continue to be like that, you know. I mean, the whole situation is still just like really unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird from your perspective too, because it's like you were making all this music in this completely organic setting, and then because that music did so well, all of a sudden you have everybody in the industry hitting you up because they want to sort of be able to copy that formula that you were using there, that, you know, to sort of be able to get that same energy that they saw you organically coming up with people that you were actually friends with. So what's that like once you start getting all these offers and there's like money being offered up and everything, but then it feels way less organic?
You know, that's real, bro. It's funny because like that's a thing too, and that's something that like, you know, I dealt with like a little bit earlier on, and I mean, you know, it's kind of just, bro, like, you know, like in this business, you want to have a good face card too. So it's kind of like you do things off of other people's faces, you know what I'm saying? Or you do it for the money. So, you know, it's all situational. But I just like to get the job done, whatever it is, you know, if I feel it.
Yeah. It's interesting too, though, because do you feel like, you know, you were coming in the game with a lot of like originality as a producer, and then especially with producing, pretty quickly, people will just start copying your shit nonstop. And you feel like that was kind of like a weird thing to go through, where you're just a random kid one day, and then all of a sudden you see other producers sort of like figuring out the shit that you were doing and sort of making stuff that sounds like your beat. You ever listen to the radio and hear a beat and you're like, damn, that sounds a lot like some shit that I was making?
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. So like, yeah, when we first started dropping shit, you know, I kind of felt like I was the only one with the whole distorted and all that, you know, like the hard, loud. And then, you know, time went on, X got bigger, everybody got bigger, you know what I'm saying? More people heard the beats, they want to know who made it. And yeah, I do believe that over time, you know, if you're a producer, you see that something's hot, you know, you're going to try to remake it, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I guess like in the beginning, it kind of bothered me because I always want to be like, I always like to have my own lane, like my own one of one, you know what I'm saying? But then, you know, I kind of like learned to just like be happy about it, that people are even inspired. And at the end of the day, like there's only one of you anyway. So it's like, it doesn't really matter what anyone else does. Like to get the real thing, you got to come to me.
Do you ever look at the relationship that certain artists have with producers? Like when you think about Drake and 40, or, you know, like early like Cardi and Pierre or whatever, where it's like, you know, art, and now like you hear about that a lot, where artists want to get a producer and make them their producer, so that they're not really able to just run around and do whatever. Is that the kind of thing that ever appealed to you, or how you feel about those sort of situations?
Yeah, nah, like that never, that was never like even an issue or nothing, bro. I feel like I have that with literally like all the kids from South Florida, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I have that, and like they know that, like I'm like a go-to, you know what I'm saying? And then it's even like beyond music, you know, like we hang out. Like I'm about to go play basketball punt right after this. Like we do regular stuff too, you know what I'm saying? But
that's good to see you guys still kicking it. I've seen you in the studio a lot. I've seen a bunch of more recent photos come out, because there's been times where I was sort of worried, like I felt like Pump wasn't really kicking it with anybody. Like he was sort of being a little bit too closed off to other people and shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like you'll be surprised. Like Pump doesn't really have anyone around. So like I'm happy that that like I'm even around because like I was there before all this shit anyway. So it's like I just know Pump's the type of guy like he has whoever he really feels comfortable around. So because bro at that level like what I'm saying, you can't really trust people, all the ice and all that. What I'm saying, it's people always out here trying to get you, bro. It's like
Yeah, and it's crazy to think about. Like think about those early days where you guys were just hanging out in the house making music and stuff. Everything felt so simple where you could just have a party, have people just come over your house. It's all good. You're not really like worried about people like that. And then in the course of like a year or two, you guys all just sort of went from just regular dudes to just famous as fuck, where all of a sudden it makes everything feel a little bit more complicated in the sense that you don't want to just be having a conversation with a bunch of random people in the room. You can't just be having all kinds of different people coming over your crib to party and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, bro, it's crazy because like it's like you have to be mindful. You know what I'm saying? If you're smart, you know what I'm saying. You don't want to get caught lacking. You feel me? Like I learned a lot just from what happened, with bro X. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that right there has me moving a total different way. Especially because like him, like he wasn't flashy. You know what I'm saying? Super low key. He was down the street from his crib trying to buy a motorcycle. Like so it's like you just never know. And I like wearing jewelry, so I always make sure I'm on point. But like there's times like I like to do like regular shit too. Maybe I don't wear no jewelry, do some regular shit. So
do you feel like you can move around in a regular way if you sort of suit up in a normal way? Like if you just throw on like a hoodie and sweatpants, like do you feel like you can move around in the way that is kind of comfortable? Because a lot of times artists sort of get to that point where they can't do that.
I mean, I think I can, but to be honest, like I'm never alone. Like I don't really like being alone like that. But like there's certain times like I might have to like go run like an errand or something, But I don't know. I kind of like being with the bros.
Yeah. Nah, it's definitely like a safe bet.
Facts.
So this whole time, were you feeling like you wanted to do your own thing as an artist as well? Or was that something that sort of emerged in your head later on?
So I think I was kind of like off and on, like, man, I kind of want to do this, kind of don't. But at one point, like once Denzel started blowing up, traveling the world, I'm like, man, like I was still in the house and I'm like, damn, like I want more out of this. I don't want to just be like behind a computer, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I could bring more to the table as far as like, fashion, like modeling, whatever, like, just I could be like a face. So
there's a lot of hot producers or just dumpy ass looking dudes who don't look marketable at all.
Yeah, so
but
like
you're kind of like, I got the look too, buddy.
Yeah, so like, that's how I'm coming,
Maybe
bro.
You didn't say buddy. But.
Nah, I might, buddy. Nah, but bro, that's how I'm coming. So like, it's on that tip. Like, I know what I bring to the table, and I just want the world to know so I can get what I deserve and get what I want out of it. So it's like, yeah, like, like I'm totally different from every other producer. Like, I don't even consider myself a producer. I call myself an artist overall, At one point I wanted to be an architect so I could draw too. Like I'm not like super artsy, but like, I could paint and all that.
I mean, if you can make a beat or if you can make a song, it's only a matter of time, I think, until you start thinking about what else you can make. That's why whenever I think of like an artist saying anything about architecture, I think about when Kanye was like, I'm gonna design hotels.
Yeah, bro. And like being around him, bro, like you just learn so much, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a real thing too. It's like he's at a whole nother level, bro. The way he moves, the way he thinks is just like, it's not regular, like it's really levels to everything in life.
I think he could design great hotels. I just feel like his time is probably split between a lot of different things.
Bro, he's designing stuff now, bro. Like He's building stuff. I think he has like stuff like somewhere in Calabasas somewhere, bro. Like just like crazy, like weird, like structures like that you could live in. Like, bro, he's working on mad stuff, bro, to make the world a better place. Like literally, bro. He's trying to help with the Bahamas, like whatever happened with them. Just like make life better, bro. Like literally. And it's like, you're right, he does have a lot going on. So like I was just with him in Wyoming and I was at like one of the sweatshops for like Easy or whatever,
right.
Like his clothes and stuff. And he literally had like the studio set up like right in the middle. So he could just sit there, record, and look at everybody make the clothes. Like it's
really?
Crazy. Yeah.
And you witnessed that? Are you like making beats right there in that environment?
Yeah, I'm right there. Like for everything, it's crazy.
When you're making beats with somebody like him, are you coming in with a bunch of shit you already made, or you start cooking up in front of him typically?
It's all different. Sometimes like he'll give me an idea and be like, "Yo, go work on that. I'll work on it, bring it back." Or bro, it's free for all. Like he's so open. I could say anything. I could be like, "Yo, bro, listen to this," or it's whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
Is there anybody else who you've worked with that really stands out as the most interesting or just fascinating people that you've been around through this whole thing? Kanye and X, those are pretty like extreme examples.
Even with that, bro, like I don't want there to be too many. So I think that's such a special place. I can't give that to everyone. And, you know, everyone is special, like in their own world, like, you know, in their own way. But those are two different people that just like touch a lot of people. And even like with the new stuff that Kanye is about to be dropping, I think all that's great. And that's also going to speak to the world as well in a positive way.
Have you ever done a beat for Kanye or like did a part of a song with him and then you hear that song like a week or a month later and it's just so different? Because sometimes I've heard like leaked like songs that were supposed to be on his projects from early on, and then like, holy shit, it'll be like 3 different songs all mashed together, or you'll hear a song and like the beat will just be completely changed. Like, is it weird for you to like work so hard on something and then to have it just end up completely deconstructed in a totally different way?
Yeah, bro, like the thing about this, bro, is in this industry, you can't take nothing personal. And if you do, then you're probably not gonna make it far. And someone like Kanye, I think he brings around people that he feels that actually has an understanding. Because if you know Kanye, you already know how he works. So, you know, even with the song I Love It, I remember we were in like Amsterdam and I asked him, I was like, yo, bro, like, let me put my tag in this. And he was just like, nah. So I was like, damn, like, fuck it. But I didn't take it personal because I'm like, whatever, like, you know, eventually, you know, my tag will be in something, you know. Like, I don't think he really understood what that was like, you know, like, oh my God, Ronnie, like, that's such a thing.
Right.
You
So
know,
you made that song with Kanye and then he showed it to Pump afterwards?
Honestly, bro, like, I don't remember exactly the timeline, but I do remember on Pump's 18th birthday, that was when he recorded his part, like on his birthday, like at the house. I kind of think Ye like worked on it and then sent it to Pump, and then like, yeah.
I remember they premiered that shit at the Pornhub Awards, and the second Pornhub Awards is this Friday, so it's been almost exactly 1 year. Yeah. Assuming that they are doing the Pornhub Awards on the same date, which I have no reason to actually think that. But yeah, I don't know. That must have been a crazy one to be attached to, just because the memes were so strong with that video and stuff. Were you around for them thinking up that fucking video concept?
Nah, I don't even. I know for a fact it was all Ye. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Pump's not thinking that shit up.
Yeah, nah. But it worked out. Like he looked cool in that shit. It looked cool. But yeah, nah, bro. It was a crazy thing to be a part of, you know, like any club I'm in, like all my friends, they know, you know what I'm saying? It was just like a cool time. Even now, it still goes up. Yeah. You feel me? Like, yeah, people send me videos playing it, listening to it, you know, it's cool.
It's rare to come up with a song that has a hook that is that catchy.
Like vulgar. It's crazy, bro.
And that vulgar, yeah.
It's insane. It's insane, bro. And like, I don't know, like I tell people, you know, when they ask me like, oh, what do you do or what have you done? I'm like, you know that song, like, you're such a fucking
yeah.
They be like, yeah, like everybody knows it. So it's
even
like,
if they barely speak English, they know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so crazy to think about, man.
That's fine.
That music is that powerful, you know? And that it comes from like just people hanging out, making music in the basement.
Literally, bro, just like your thoughts, you know what I'm saying? The vibe.
Definitely. Yeah. The song Banded Up with X, did you guys actually make that song together or how did that go down?
So yeah, that song, it was kind of like I made it in my room. I made the beat and I recorded my part in the room.
Right.
And then I kind of had that song just like hanging around. And I started working on the compilation tape, Oh My God, Ronnie. And I wanted that to feature like a bunch of artists that I work with. So me and X already had like a few other songs before that. So I don't know, I was just like, yo, let me just get bro on this. And it was cool because you know, I sent it to him and he was like, yo, I'm gonna do it. And it took maybe like, I don't know, like it takes time sometimes, you know, but he would always like check back in and be like, yo, Ronnie, I didn't forget, I got you, you know, a real one. So I always appreciated that. And then even when he did it, he asked me, he was like, yo, bro, so like, how do you want me to come on it? Like, I got to choose, like, which I thought was fire, like, you know?
Right.
So I was just like, yo, like, I told him I want him to be like more like rap style, like,
right.
He killed it.
Yeah. That's so sick. So the girl that came up with, the girl who did the OMG Ronnie thing was just a random ass girl, you don't even know who it is?
Some random girl.
So you could never, so there's no chance of her coming around and being like, yo, I need like all the money you ever made off every song?
I mean, she tried.
She did already?
I mean, she tried to pull something, but I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I don't know her like that. I have a friend that really knows her, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of just like let him deal with that. Like whatever she has going on, you feel me? It's like
he can break her up. Yeah.
Exactly. Like he'll just handle that, you know what I'm saying? I don't really got time to go back and forth.
She can't prove it either way, right?
Nah.
Well, there you go.
We good.
Yo, I gotta admit, I'm super curious about how you linked with 6ix9ine to do that fucking Latin song, the Bebe song.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy because like people laugh a lot when I say like everything is destiny, like shit's destiny. Some things are just unexplainable. Some things just happen when they're supposed. Oh, everything happens when it's supposed to, I believe. And some like a lot of great things, you know, that happen is just like, how the fuck did this happen? It's like always unexplainable. I think that's the fucking best. But with 6ix9ine, I was at this Kanye West studio, at his old studio, and just working. And my boy ran in the room. Was like, yo, 6ix9ine's outside. 6ix9ine outside. So I was like, yo, tell him come in. And bro just walked in with like 5 securities and was just like, yo, it's good. Like he was feeling the vibe, bro. And he was just like, yo, he was like, yo, I got. He said something like I think he had like another room booked, but then he asked me if he could use my room. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Like I know who you are, let's get it. And then from there, like we just vibing, and it's crazy because like even that day, it was like people circling like the studio, like looking for bro. So like that was a crazy situation too.
I mean, there's like a couple of different LA trips that 6ix9ine took, and I remember there being like an early one where he was just around a bunch of gangbangers, didn't really have any security and stuff. And I remember hearing like Tory Lanez talk about kicking him with him at that time and being like, yo, this fool was out there with no security. It was nuts. Yeah. But then the next time he came after that was the time that he supposedly racked up like $100,000 security bill and was surrounded by like the U.S. Army the whole time.
Yeah. So I think it was kind of around that time.
Yeah.
Because it was mad dudes there. And then even him, he wasn't really rolling with like mad like friends. It was just like 2 kids that he would never even post, that you wouldn't even think he would be cool with. Like, you know what I'm saying? But everybody cool over there. And he came in and then I remember like he was already super big, obviously. So I just told him like, yo, my nigga, you need to make a Spanish song, bro. Like you need to do this shit. Cause I peeped that like he started traveling to all the Spanish countries and doing crazy shows. So I'm like, bro, do a Spanish song. Boom. Then after that, we came up with Bebe. And I remember he wrote down his lyrics like on a cereal box. Like he like ripped it open. And so like he was in a booth like this, like holding a cereal box, like rapping. Like it's crazy.
So you saw him write the song?
Yeah, like him and his friends, like yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I've always, and I know that as a producer, you don't ever want to snitch on nobody, but I've always kind of like heard people say that he didn't write his shit. So I'm always interested about people who are sort of around when he was actually doing the recording process.
I mean, bro, like anybody can write. Anybody, like, you know what I'm saying? There's songs that have the dumbest, like simplest lyrics. There's songs that have complex stuff, like
but
whatever.
The flow itself is kind of the difficult thing for a lot of people.
Bro comes up with flows,
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, 6ix9ine for sure came up with lyrics. Even like for Kanye, we did some stuff in Colombia. Like, bro for sure does, you know, but it's nothing wrong to have like help either. You know what I'm saying? Or like, you know, you might have a better idea than I do, and it might make the song go crazy. Let's do it.
Do you think that the idea of doing a Spanish type song was completely new to him at that point, and he hadn't really thought about it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like really, really new. Like he said, like he's like yeah, like you know I've been thinking about it, but he never actually did it. So like Bebe is the first one, and we got a few more, but I don't know if they'll ever come out.
And that song really stood out to me when I first heard it too, where I was like, oh my God, like this is a real problem. Like this dude can make hit songs that don't sound anything like Gummo.
It's insane, bro. Like I remember after we made the song, he was like, yo, Ronny, trust me, 10 for 10, bro. It's gonna be 10 for 10. And that shit was 10 for 10, bro. And like even that, like we made this song and like he told me like he was telling, you know, he was telling me like, you know, he only goes to the studio like twice a month. Cause like, you know, like he's like he understood that like he's just in it to make the bread because he knew that he wasn't gonna be hot forever. But he also knew that like any song that like he ran with would be something. You know, so he would go in there and make one song and make that one song be something. Like,
it's so weird how that worked out for him because I feel like for most people, if they try to just make one song and make that the song and push the fuck out of that song, that it doesn't really work. It's usually dudes make 20 songs and they find one song that works and they push that. But even when I interviewed 6ix9ine, when he didn't even have Gummo out and shit, I remember him saying like, I only ever made like, I forget what number he said, but it was like 8 songs or like some crazy low number that he had not really recorded much. Yeah, at least he said.
Like, bro, like low-key just like hacked the industry, bro. Like for real.
That's so crazy. So it's crazy to think about that, the 6ix9ine and Pierre situation. And I just wanted to ask you as a producer how you felt about that, because I recently was doing an interview with Complex and they asked me how I felt about that situation. And I was like, man, that was a weird situation that we haven't really seen happen in hip hop, where the snippet came out and it had Pierre's tag on it, and then the full song came out and it was removed. And at some point, Pierre just sort of had to be like, all right, whatever, like I'll take the money. But he didn't want that situation to play out like that. From your perspective as a producer, could you ever imagine that happening to you?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. You know, it happens, bro. It's like at the end of the day, like not every artist wants a tag. You know, not every song needs a tag. You know, I'm all about just like going against the grain and like doing things that you're not supposed to do. So I'll throw a tag in on any type of song, on a Madonna song, like I don't care. But you know, not every artist wants that, and you gotta understand like it's their song too, you know. So like if you wanna have a great relationship, then you know just let it rock. You know what I'm saying? Just make some type of agreement. Like even on Baby, I wanted my tag, but 6ix9ine was like, no, bro, trust me. Like you know, like it's my first Spanish song. I want it to be like really like commercial, whatever. So I was with it, and he was like, yo, bro, I promise you for the next one, you put the tag in, and which it is. So it's like
that's crazy.
It's all like situational, you know, relationship based.
Damn, that's so crazy. Just because that must have opened up your music to a totally different market, where you had people listening to your beats that had never really even heard it before.
And I'm okay with that because, like, you know, I'd rather be rich than famous. Like, I ain't tripping.
Is that the mentality, rich over famous?
I mean, yeah, like, I don't do this for fame, you know? But obviously, like, the more people that know you, the more income. You know what I'm saying? The more people you could touch. So my goal is to touch the world, you know what I'm saying, in a very positive, spiritual way. So, you know, I'm working on that just, you know, but I don't do it for fame. Like, I do it because, like, it's what I love to do. You know what I'm saying? It's, like, it's part of my life. It's my everyday life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What was it like recording with Bad Baby?
She cool. Like, she like a little sis, you know, like, real cool, like, young chick, you know what I'm saying? She's super, like, advanced for her age, you know? A lot of times you talk to her, you forget how old she is. She just be hella, like, you know, like on top, like she's just, like, hella aware, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool. Like, I could just kick it with her. Like, she just, you know?
She never tried beef with you?
Nah.
She always be getting mad at the rappers that she works with. She's always flipping out on one of them. I was just waiting for her to get mad at Ronny.
Nah, we just, like, real cool, bro. Like, I don't know. I kind of felt like she had, like, a little crush on me, like, when she first met me. But I don't know. Like, that's a little sis.
Yeah, it's probably just like a big bro type vibe.
I don't know. Like, her mom, crazy too.
Her mom is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, her mom is hilarious. I totally forgot about her. Yeah, I did a vlog where I was talking to her mom, and then the label hit me up and made me cut out a big chunk of it because she was just talking super reckless about how wild her daughter is.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah, like that. The whole family, like, it's lit though. Like, I met a lot of her family. You know what I'm saying? She lit.
That's fire. Is there anybody in the industry that you think about and you're like, oh, that's one person that I still haven't managed to get in the studio with that I really respect and I would really like to work with?
Yeah, Future. Shout out Future. You know what I'm saying? I never met him, but I'm very inspired by Future, and I can't wait to work with Future.
Do you have an A&R who tries to, like, line shit like that up?
I mean, yeah, I got different people, you know, that try to make things happen. But a lot of my plays, like, a lot of whatever you see happen for me is, like, kind of just, like, off of me.
Right. You just sort of go with it from a more organic perspective?
That, or it's just, like, I make shit happen, like, for myself, you know? I don't really wait around for no one else. And, like, all placements that I get, like, 90% is on my own, 95%. So.
Are there any producers you look at where you're like, I want to have a career like them? Like, where you really kind of have modeled yourself over after what they were doing or the kind of moves that they made?
I ain't gonna lie, right now, DJ Mustard is flexing on a whole nother level. So I don't know what bro's doing, but I for sure want to flex like that.
What, that Roddy Ricch video made an impression on you? He just put out a new one with him that was a pretty ballin' affair, I think.
I didn't even see it, bro.
Oh, okay.
I gotta check it out, though.
Yeah. That's what's up. No, I seen Mustard when I was in England for Wireless.
That's all right.
And I was like, damn, that's fire to fly all the way to England just so you can come out for one Migos song.
Yeah.
He might have been playing on his own set as well, but.
Yeah, nah, but, like, you know, not really, bro. I want to be different. I mean, you know, like, I was always into Pharrell, you know, growing up, because, like, the ice cream vape and all that. I love that. I used to buy the fake stuff back in the day. Not even just, like, on a producer tip, because I didn't know I wanted to be that, you know? But just, like, everything fashion, the fact that, like, he could sing and make the beat and, like, people just accept it. I like that. But as far as, like, you know, I want to be able to, like, design my own world, continue to create that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
8 or 9 baby mamas too. That's one of the main things I think about with Future. He's just out here running the world. He's gonna have a whole army, a whole country of his offsprings.
Yeah, he going crazy, bro. I can't indulge in that though.
That's too risky. Yeah. You ain't made that much money off Spotify yet.
Shit, even if I do,
that's not what you want to invest in.
Yeah, I take like 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
1 baby mom.
2. Man, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I did have, I wanted to ask you about the type beat thing, because that's kind of, I feel like you were one of the first people that was like Ronny J type beats and shit like that. I really started seeing all the time. So it was like, and I read in an interview with you where you said that you don't really like think that the type beat thing is that great of an idea, but I've also heard a lot of people say that that's kind of like the whole way that they got into the game.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Damn, bro, like there's so many different ways I feel about that. But so like in the beginning, like I said before, you know, I always felt like as soon as I start seeing type beats, then it's like, all right, bet, like I made it to some type of, you know, whatever. Like people know what I'm doing. So I thought that was cool. In the beginning, I used to kind of be like, damn, like, you know, like, how can you be a legend if you're making tight beats? You know what I'm saying? You can make a hit. Anybody can make a hit, bro. You can make a beat right now and give it to somebody that pulls up to this podcast and make a hit. Like, no cap. So, but it's like, how can you be a legend? You know what I'm saying? I want to stand out. I want to be 101. So, like, I made sure that I just did what I wanted to do. Even if it wasn't hot at the time, I just did what I wanted to do, but I also put, you know, I also gave people what they wanted as well. You feel me? Right now, I embrace it, though, as far as the tight beats. I love it. Like, I want all my fans, everyone, keep going crazy. You know what I'm saying? If I inspire you, that's awesome. Like, you feel me? That's super lit.
Yeah, when you have a young kid hit you up and say, like, you know, I admire what you've done so much and I want to get in the game, what do you kind of tell them? Because it's tough. It's like a lot of times the advice that I got to give them is basically just the sacrifice, hang out of the studio, just try to work with anybody you can, just be around people. Don't be super pressed to like make a song every night. You know, a lot of the producers I know who have sort of worked their way into the industry is because they just were willing to be around the artists and kick it long enough that they got a chance to prove themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's cool. You know, I think there's many different ways to make it within, you know, the music. I would tell, you know, I would get, like, the advice that I would give is to basically stay consistent, you know, just like lock in with whoever you can and really just like create relationships, like great relationships. Just keep, you know, your face clean. You feel me? Don't take nothing personal. That's a major thing right there. And yeah, bro. Yeah.
Basically, just don't compete with me. I'm on top of the world. I'm Ronny J.
Stay on my way, exactly.
Stay
Oh my God. My guy, Ronny.
So how did you end up getting inserted into the MGK and Eminem thing? Like, who did you do a beat for first out of that whole situation?
I think I for sure sent Eminem beats before I met MGK.
Okay.
But then I was just like in LA. The homie knew MGK. Was like, yo, I can have him pull up now. He pulled up. And then MGK was just like, yo, like, you know, I've been hearing about you, you know, from like everywhere. Like, I had to see what's up. So he just pulled up on me. I played beats maybe, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes. He picked some. He took it to a studio, and then the first song he made was Rap Devil. Yeah. And then, like, even like around then, like, I didn't even know that like him and M had an issue. Like, I didn't even know about that, you know?
So that happened, and then Eminem just happened to use one of the beats that you had already sent him?
Crazy, exactly.
That's some wild shit.
And that's why I say destiny, because like I had nothing in, like, you know, I had nothing to do with that. Like, I didn't set that up, you know, it's like meant to happen.
But you think in M's mind that was like, oh, this is funny, I'm gonna get on the same beat from the same producer just to sort of troll him in a way?
Honestly, bro, like when that first happened, I kind of was like, damn, it's crazy. Like, I don't know Eminem, so I don't know if he's still gonna rock with me after this, you know? And then like with MGK, I just met him, so I wasn't too sure, but off of his vibe, I felt like he didn't care. Like, he was on some like young nigga shit. Like, I wanna have fun. Like, let's start war. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's cool that like they both like don't care. It's just about the music, you know? Right. It's not even like, oh, like, if anything, it's kind of like, yo, like, we both have a Ronny J beat. Like, who did it better? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you're definitely the only person out of that who's clearly only benefiting. You know, everybody else is like, yeah, they got popular songs and shit, and they're making money off those songs, but you're the only person who doesn't have to get involved and gets to make money off both songs.
It was insane, bro. It was insane. And the cool thing about it is, like, MGK, that's the bro, it's big bro. So, like, you know, we still got hella stuff on the way. You know, we plan on making a tape together and all. So.
Oh, yeah. That's what's up.
It's dope.
Fire. So, what are like your big aspirations going forward right now? Like, what do you really want to see in terms of shit that you can bring to the table over the next year or two?
I definitely want to, you know, continue to keep on recording, get better. You know what I'm saying? I want to continue to drop more music as an artist. You know, I want the world to see me as an artist entirely, not just producer or artist. It's just like whatever I bring to the table. I definitely want to continue to just like be more in tune with like myself, and, you know, continue to learn myself so I can make the best music possible, and, you know, just to really put people on to like you know, being healthy, bro, and having like, you know, a pure soul, a pure mind. Being healthy, is that kind of something you've been focused on? Is just taking better care of your mind and your body? Yeah, bro, that's super like big, you know, part of my life. Like, I work out, not like every day, like, you know, like every other day. See, we're seeing the slow change of the SoundCloud rap generation too, because like
at the time that music started hitting, I was getting fucked up, and now I'm all like working out, eating super healthy.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing.
it is. No, it's a beautiful thing, bro. And like the truth is, like you feel much better. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't done it, you should try it. You know, eat McDonald's, whatever you do for like a few days, and then switch it up, and you're gonna feel like a difference. And plus, like I like to look good, so like you know, like I'm on a tip, bro. Like I see myself, like I know where I want to be, and I'm just working towards that. Like every single day, I'm not just like sitting on my ass, like you know. But, you know, I might drink with you. I might, you know, hit something, like you know, whatever.
Well, it's easy to get complacent when you've already had a lot of success, you know.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like I could still like turn up, have some fun, and then get right back to it. You know?
Right. No, you're still young.
Yeah.
Myself, if I turn up and have some fun.
Nah, you're a rock star, bro. You lit.
Yeah. I do it all sober nowadays, though. So,
Word.
you know, mostly sober. Besides the kush. Damn, dude. All right, so this is awesome getting to have you come in here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we need to mention that's important. You got any like specific projects or songs coming up that we need to be excited for?
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff, you know, I'm working on. Production-wise, like, bro, like, the list goes on, you know? But if anything, you know, I want people to just be aware of, you know, me dropping my own music and just, you know, just pay attention to what I got going on, you know what I'm saying? It's going to get to you either way eventually, so.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
Yeah, on top of that, also want to shout out my two producers, Tubin and Rico. They're from Austria, so I signed them.
You signed two producers from Austria?
Yeah.
Nice.
They're actually out here. I don't know. I think they're outside.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I got them, and then my artist, Leave Me Alone. He's
Oh,
out
really?
Yeah, he's out of Florida.
Oh, okay. I seen that shit.
Yeah, check him out. He go crazy.
Wow, that's great.
So I got that. You know, it's really so much, bro. So much. Some like movie opportunities. Not like me in the movie, but like you
Scoring?
know, scoring movies.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, all that.
That's
Crazy
badass too. There's probably a lot of bread in that shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Dude. The money's crazy.
Damn. All right. Well, Ronny J, I appreciate you coming in and kind of educating us out there, motivating the young producers out there, and sort of filling us in on a lot of the history of everything you've been through.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Appreciate you having me.
Appreciate you. Ronny J, No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Like, comment, subscribe. NoJumper.com. If you want support, go get yourself a kendama.
You dig?
We're going to give Ronny J one too. We might teach him to spike it.
I don't know how to do this shit.
Peace.